Making the invisible visible. Black women, 365 days of the year. Each day will spotlight a remarkable woman whose story has shaped Black, British or global diasporic history. Women whose achievements are too often overlooked. Through these daily short films, we create a living, breathing archive of leadership, creativity, resistance and legacy. Let's begin.
Okay, so my name is Annette Walker, and what I do in the world, I'm trying to make sense of the world for myself and others. I have people who've described me as a polymath, and that's basically someone with like many skills. I think it's a pretty good description of what I do. I'm curious about the world, how it works, why, ways to make things better. And I'm drawn to developing different talents to express myself and be able to share that. People get confused because I don't fit neatly into one box. I dance, I play music, I act, I write, but I love researching, especially about history. And I specialize in history of tap dance and jazz. So my work from day to day really changes depending on the project that I'm working on. And like many artists, I have a tendency to kind of really like delve deep, or I guess you could say like over prepare, but I just think of it as the way of that it should be done. I can spend a lot of time really digging into one aspect of what I'm doing. But underlying it all, I actually really like to improvise. That gives me a lot of flexibility to be able to go with the flow. But it does require a lot of like carefully selected tools. It requires a lot of patience and practice. And in tap dance, it shares kind of history with jazz music. At the moment, I am doing a PhD in tap dance history, which is like a dream come true. It's fully funded. So a lot of my days at the moment is spending researching and delving into the history of tap dance. Well, in relation to my tap dancing, one of the biggest influences will have to be the bebop hoofer Will Gaines. And I saw him perform for the first time live at the Bloomsbury Theatre. It was a tap dance kind of extravaganza, if you like. And he was probably the oldest person on the stage. He was in his 70s. And I'd never seen improvising performed before. And I didn't know what to expect. So I remember sat in the audience thinking, oh my gosh, what is this? And how do I learn to do that? I'd been tap dancing as a child for like over 11 years. And I just returned to go and do classes as an adult. But having seen Will on the stage, it was like a light bulb moment. And you could say like the rest is history. I think I've kind of mentioned it when it comes to the work involved in improvising. It's actually a hard skill to do well, like to perform it. I've been improvising for many years, but I still have a process of, for instance, the flooring is really important for me. So, I will have to maybe go and see or ask, find out about the technical things to be able to, the technical element in the space I am is going to impact what I can and can't do. The story that comes to mind with that is that I was on tour with a show in Italy. It was a jazz tour, and I'd given them my technical rider, and everything was to do, with the flooring. I was reassured that everything would be taken care of, but what I've learned in my experience is that people don't really read the details of technical riders. So when I showed up for the rehearsal, the tap floor had carpet. So and I was expected to improvise with the band. For that rehearsal, I ended up scatting. And it's not something that a lot of tap dancers, even themselves, are going to be able to do. I shouldn't have had to have done that for myself and the other musicians, but we got through it. So yeah, there's a lot of other work going on behind the background. Well, the small wins, I'm actually still trying to work on how to make that space for that, because I've had quite a few little things over the years, and I've realized that sometimes things are moving so quickly that they will just like run into each other. So I'm trying to kind of like just take a moment, go out with friends, go out with family, just, pause and really kind of like bask in the glory, if you like. I also have one of my favorite things to keep me going would be regular jam sessions. So I go to music jam sessions, and that's with my kind of music partner slash mentor, and they're weekly. So, and they're really informal, and that brings me a lot of joy. You can just be in the moment and just kind of go back to basics. That's for me.
Thank you for joining us for today's story. Making the Invisible Visible is our commitment to ensuring that Black women's histories and contributions are recognised, valued and kept in daily circulation. Across 2026, we will continue to share these powerful narratives, 365 days of impact, brilliance and inspiration. Stay connected, join the conversation and help us champion the women whose journeys continue to shape our world. I'm Paulette Brooks, and I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow for the next story.